Dear boys and girls, today's topic of discussion is how to make a precis, and it is part 3. I have already discussed with you part 1 and part 2. However, in the part 3, I want to remind you of some factors which will help you to write your precis in a very precise form. For example, you may take down the sentence, the meeting having been over or being over, members dispersed. But while writing your precis, you must write the meeting over, members dispersed. You see that meeting is a subject and members is another subject. So when there are two subjects and two different subjects, you are at liberty to use absolute phrase. But you see that absolute phrase can also be shortened. While a Frenchman or an American or an Indian will say, while the meeting was over, the members dispersed, or the meeting having been over, the members dispersed. But an Englishman will say, the meeting over, members dispersed. So you see that it is an example of the economy of language. And this economy of language can be very easily utilized while you are writing a precis. Okay? So it is an example of absolute phrase and how an absolute phrase can be shortened for the sake of your precis writing. Again, I am reminding you of another fact that participles can also be shortened. While writing your precis, you should not write the participle form in an elaborate way. For an example, I am stating, but you must note it down that while you are using participle, the subject must be the same person. Okay? For example, being extremely fatigued, the travelers took rest under a banyan tree at the western end of our village. Being extremely fatigued, or someone say having been extremely fatigued, the travelers took rest under a banyan tree at the end of our village. Then what will you write while writing your precis? You will have to write, just note it down, you will have to write fatigued. You are omitting being extremely fatigued. Fatigued, the travelers sat down under the banyan tree at the end of our village. So, this is also the economy of language. This is also the economy of language. Another example of participle I am telling you. For example, having been completely exhausted, having been completely exhausted, I was unable to work. Having been completely exhausted, I was unable to work. So you may easily omit having been. Exhausted, I was unable to work. Exhausted, I was unable to work. So you see that how easily you are maintaining the economy of language, and this economy of language is necessary while you are writing a phrase. Another example, I am stating that while you are writing your phrase, try to avoid your complex sentence. For example, while we were walking along the street, we did not look at the stationary goods. While we were walking along the road, we did not look at the stationary goods. So while we were walking along the road, you may easily omit it. We did not look at the stationary goods at the time of our walking. So you have curtailed many words from the sentence to write it in a precise form. Another example, when the sun was setting in the western horizon, the water of the river became as red as vermilion. When the sun was setting in the western horizon, the water of the river became as red as vermilion. Then what will you write while writing the phrase? You must write in a very precise form. During the sunset, the water of the river became red. During the sunset, the water of the river became red. You must curtail the words from the sentence. Again, I am giving an example of preposition plus gerund. For example, having heard the news, I was extremely happy. Having heard the news of my son's success, I was extremely happy, or I was much happy. So, you must write, on hearing the news of my son's success, I was happy. On hearing. On is preposition and hearing is gerund. So, preposition plus gerund can easily give you the economy of language. On hearing the news of my son's success, I was much happy. Okay. So today's lecture on phrase part 3 ends here, and I am requesting you, my dear boys and girls, and those who are listening to my video, how to write a phrase. If it comes to your benefit, I shall be much blessed. And that is why I request you to subscribe my channel. Please subscribe my channel. Don't forget to subscribe my channel. Thank you, so that I may come before you again with many grammatical items and many tidbits of grammar. Good night today.